Hello, everyone. Can you actually believe that it's already 3 weeks into the new year? I hope that your New Year's been going well. I have been working on my web design business, and this is an exciting year for me. I started doing website design a long time ago, way back in 2008, when I moved into my parents' house to take care of them. And over the last since 15 years ago. I've been learning a lot, growing a lot, and really getting present to what it is that I want to accomplish with my business. I do website design and online marketing, but mostly what I'm interested in is helping people to gain freedom and promote themselves using the internet. So this little tutorial I've put together for today is all about gaining a perspective on how to use the internet to grow your business. There's a lot of things that need to be done, and there's a lot of different ways of accomplishing it using the internet. And what I'm interested in sharing with you is just a basic outline that you can use to make determination on what you might want to do. So I'm a firm proponent that everybody should be able to manage their own website themselves as much as they're capable or have a desire to do that. And I'm also available for website design and marketing services. And I can give you a free 30-minute chat if you'd like me to go over your circumstances with you and put together something for you to use to grow your business. So first of all, I'm on a mission to help people grow your business faster than ever by using the internet, and that that comes with a lot of points that I'm going to explain to you now. So first of all, right now with the economy the way it is, the way that we are in the world with all kinds of things, there's a lot of angst going on. And so I'm really present to it, and you probably are too, a lot of different obstacles and challenges. And what am I going to do now, and how am I going to do it? A lot of that has to do with understanding where we are in history, and that's beyond the scope of our own individual lives. And if we can look at it that way, we can generate insights into new opportunities. So if you look in the past, there were different periods of time when people were having an experience in society, and to the degree that they could remain conscious of what was happening from an historical point of view, it gave them access into seeing new possibilities. So one thing that our current situation does compel us to have is courage, and that's to take action in the face of obstacles. And it took me a long time to realize this particular thing, because I'd have an idea for something, I'd get started on it, and then things wouldn't work out right, or I couldn't figure something out, or I met with resistance, or I failed, or whatever came up were obstacles. And the biggest obstacle is usually that it starts in my own mind, my own limiting beliefs. And I think we all have that. We have, excuse me, we have beliefs about what we think we're worth, and beliefs about what we are going to try to do. When in reality, the way that you gain confidence and strength is by starting. And that's the biggest thing. And then you get obstacles outside of yourself from other people and circumstances. And so the question then becomes, can you believe in yourself enough to keep going? So it requires sometimes to learn new skills. You don't need a formal education. You just need to know what to do and then learn how to do it. This can all happen online. And if you're looking for some support, I can help guide you through it. So we're talking about historical perspectives and future possibilities, and understanding where we are in history beyond the scope of our own individual lives can generate insight into new opportunities. So it's important to really take a moment and think about that, because then it can give you some confidence to keep moving. And this particular little webinar is about a practical and fundamental approach to building your internet house. It's not rocket science, but it really feels like it is, especially when you don't know how it works. And this is going to give you some idea about what practical things need to be done to improve your ranking online. And then there's new school and old school search engine optimization. Those are terms that I came up with. In our time, things are changing rapidly. And even though the internet is relatively new, there are still old school experts. The key is to constantly perceive what is coming and set systems to get into action quickly. So it really means taking a look at understanding what it is that Google wants, for example. So all these keywords that people talk about to put on your website so that the search engines can find you for a particular topic or word are important. And it's only part of the story. So if you had a website, just a white background with one word plumber on it, then in terms of keyword optimization, you would think that would be like direct. It'd be the right keyword. It would load fast, show up well on all devices. And so Google should rank it at the top. However, that's not the whole story. There's two parts. The first part is Google needs to identify you. The second part is they evaluate you, and based on their identity and evaluation is how they rank you. So there's many different ways to get those things accomplished. Now we're going to look at historical perspectives. And this may seem off track, but it's actually right on track, because if you understand where we are in history, it can really give you a sense of confidence about moving forward. So there are three waves, general waves in human economic history. The first was the agricultural age. And during that age, we stayed close to home. We didn't go out to a job. We grew our own food, and we bartered with our friends and our neighbors, and never traveled very far from home. And then when the industrial age came about, when we invented the steam engine, and then inside of that, we developed factories and assembly lines. And what that did was make us have to go someplace else to make our living. We had to go out and get a job. And then based on that, all our education systems have been developed around this whole concept. So you go to school, you get a passing grade, you get a diploma. Then because you got that diploma, then you can get a job in a company, and you can get advanced and do better inside of your business. So that's where we are now, and we're actually kind of at the end of that in some ways, although that will also remain. But right now we're in the information age, and what the opportunity is that we can bring the base of our sustenance back home, and then have the whole world as our community. Like I'm talking to you from my studio, and I'm in Pennsylvania. You might be anywhere in the world, and we can still communicate like that. So we have powerful communication opportunities, and that spells out opportunity. So if you're looking for freedom, if you're looking to write your own paycheck, and you're looking to build something, the opportunity is there. And the bottom line is, do you have the wherewithal in order to make it happen? So this is just a diagram, kind of gives you a look at those three ages. And in terms of history, this is where we are right now. We're at the end of the industrial age and the beginning of the information age. And maybe you were born here, and this is how long you're going to live. That means that we're right here in the beginning of the information age. So if you can see beyond your own lifespan, and see what's coming, it gives you an idea about what's possible. But you have to be a leader and not just a follower. So you have to have some courage, have some initiative, and put yourself out there. And if you have an idea and a vision for something, you can accomplish it. So you also have to look at your own undistinguished beliefs about business and marketing, and where are you coming from? Are you still in a mentality of the industrial age or the information age? So here's some examples of historical opportunity. There was a time before the automobile when the main mode of transportation was your horse. So people would have stables, and you'd go and rent a horse or put your horse somewhere into a stable, and that's the way you would uh, move around. But people who were in business doing that, as the automobiles came into fruition, then the people that were having the stables where the horses were losing business because of a change in what was happening in the world. And nowadays, with this push towards electric vehicles, there's a whole other thing that's opening up inside of that whole realm too. It'll keep changing over time, and we'll see what happens with it. But it's just being able to be aware of that. What about music? In the beginning, people played music, and then we had record players, and then we advanced to tape players and 8-track cassettes. You'd have to be as old as I am to remember that stuff. Then we did cassettes. They were like really, really cool little small recordings. And then we did the DVD and the Blu-ray, and now we do everything on the internet. Used to be that when you looked for products or services, you'd look on the inside of the phone book for a long time. When I was growing up, that's where we looked for everything. You wanted something, you look in the phone book under P for plumber, and then you found the plumber, and then you would call the plumber. But nowadays, people are looking on Google. So as time progresses, things change, and as much as you can see what's changing, then you can have a new insight. Okay, so what are the opportunities we're at right now? The pandemic has forced us online, and more people are participating in online activities and becoming more familiar with it. And more people are looking online for products and services. And especially if you can offer remote services, it is even better. That's why I do remote online web design and marketing, because it's something that I can reach people all over the world, and something that people can do safely. And it's worked well. I started doing it online when I was taking care of my parents, and I couldn't go out because I had to take care of them. But it's transferred over to with the pandemic, and how that kind of started to affect everybody more and more. So it's all about overcoming fear. All right. When you're trying something new, you're going to have fear. And I used to always want to feel good, right? I wanted to be like at peace about things, and I didn't like fear. If I felt fear, it was like something's wrong. I need to get away from it. So what I've learned is that there's different ways of dealing with fear. First thing is you can freeze. So if you look at something like maybe a website or marketing online, you don't know anything about it, you kind of get like frozen, and you just don't try to do anything, or you just feel overwhelmed by it. The second way is to flight, and that's to say, I can't do this. I'm not going to do this. I don't want to do this. I'm not going to try to do it. And so that totally is avoiding an opportunity. The third way is to fight about it, and that's to make somebody else wrong and to blame somebody else for something, or what I should have gotten, or I'm mad that things are changing, or whatever. These are some common reactions to fear. Do you know which way you respond to fear? And then the last way that you can respond to fear is with courage. It means to recognize your fear and get into action anyway. I have to do that all the time whenever I'm learning something new. It's like, I don't know how to do that. And then I start to do it, and I don't know how to do it right. And then I try again, and I don't know how to do it right. But eventually I get it. And now once I've learned it, then I've got a new distinction. It's the same way with websites and marketing online. And also to recognize that every crisis is also an opportunity. Okay, so you want to think about what the needs of your customers are. The needs of your customers are going to change over time. When the economy is better, I work with a lot of notaries, and for them, real estate notarizing real estate transactions was an important component for them. And when the economy's down and people aren't buying houses, then you have fewer of those loan signings. But what is a possibility now? And we've got millions of people coming across the border from all countries all over the world. And does that mean that maybe more people are going to need apostille services, for example, to have international documents done? That might be something to think about in terms of what could be an opportunity right now, given the current circumstances. Okay. And as far as the internet goes, it's important to recognize that a website's not a magic anything. All it is a communication tool. It's kind of like your central hub for your business. And through it, you can communicate to people. You can let people know what you do. You can make a good presentation of who you are so that people can gain a sense of confidence in you. And it's a way for people to find you and actually end up calling you. Okay. And so the first thing you do when you get a website is you got to have the practical and fundamental search engine optimization setup. So you need to let the search engines know that you're here and what it is that you do. This is very important. And it has two parts to it. The first part is, as I said before, is for them to identify you for a particular business. The second part is have them evaluate you. So what do you need to do and how can you do that? That's when you have an online marketing plan. So you have to know how you're ranking online, and you also need to know what habits you can take that will keep improving that. On my website at electricstorefront.com, there's a button there you can click on and get a free report of how you're ranking online right now. All right, now I want to talk about building your internet house. This is just a diagram of the things that need to happen. So this is the ground level, all right? This is the basement of your internet house. And the basement is having your site recognized for particular categories. That's all about the keywords and how they're put on the website in the right place so that the search engines will recognize you for that particular category and know what your goals and your targets are. The second part on the first floor is building social proof and giving the search engines a reason to rank your site higher. So it has to do with how you're listed in other online directories, has to do with getting Google reviews. It has to do with how you're interacting on social media and how you're participating in industry-specific locations, groups, and websites. It's all about being able to give Google evidence and proof that yours is a good site to rank higher. The second floor is creating an online marketing plan, having a structure with accountability and systems. So you have to know how you are ranking for the keywords you want to rank for. If you want to rank for a particular keyword and Google's not ranking you for it, then nobody's going to find you for it. It doesn't mean that the internet is broken. It simply means that you haven't done enough work to get your site recognized for those keywords. And there's several components to that, but it needs to happen. Okay, and the top floor is wherever you do any paid marketing services. So for some people, getting on Google's pay-per-click, for example, is a great way to get listed at the top of the search engines. It's also a more costly way. So if you're selling a house, then you might want to really use Google pay-per-click. Because if you spend $200 on ads to sell a house, that's affordable. But if you're selling pizzas, you don't want to spend $200 on ads to sell a pizza. So it's take it into discernment about your business and what you need to do. And there's other kinds of paid online marketing you can do as well. But it's all built on the foundation of being sure you're set up correctly and that you're establishing a reputation with the search engines so they want to evaluate you and rank you higher. Okay, so I created this term, new school and old school search engine optimization. The old school is all about the keywords on your page and how they're put on your page. And do you have heading tags? And what's the metadata, the titles and the description for each page? And how well are you using the keywords throughout your page? And these are all important things. And I have tools on my websites that help you analyze that and craft exactly what you need to be recognized by Google. But that alone is not everything. So your basic and fundamental SEO setup. There are free and low cost things that must be set up, like getting registered on Google My Business and Bing Places. And you need to know where your sweet spot is. It's a mix of where you're located and how much competition you have. If you're in a little town and like you say, you're the only notary in that town, you're probably going to rank at the top. But if you got 57 of them, then you've got a different ballgame to play. So you have to have an online marketing plan and constantly improving your systems. And this is going to involve having new habits to maintain a vibrant website and communication. You have to pay attention to your website. You can't just leave it alone. And also to recognize that most of your competition is not doing this. Most people are still in the mindset of, I'll get a website, I'll stick it up there, and then I'm going to leave it up there like it's an ad in the yellow pages. But we need to keep visiting it. I'm totally a failure in this so many times, but I keep getting better at it all the time. And you have to learn to live and dance with constant changes and what's working now. Okay, you need to know what keywords to target and how you rank for them. So I had a guy that was selling natural log homes, and we did the research and we found out that actually nobody in the world was searching on natural log homes. A lot of people were searching on log homes, but they weren't searching for natural log homes. So he could rank number one for natural log homes, but if nobody's searching for that, then you won't get any business. So you need to know what words people are using. And with using these keyword tools, Google has keyword tool, but when you know the words that people are actually searching on, you can include those on your page. You need to be properly set up on Google, Bing, used to be Yahoo. I don't pay as much attention to that as I used to, but that is also another type of search engine. And then also Google and Bing also have Webmaster Tools, which is a back end. They've changed the name of that, but it's all about making sure your website is registered correctly with them so that they can verify your ownership of it. And you want to be set up in the major social media players like Facebook and YouTube, and nowadays LinkedIn is a very important one. And you can also use YouTube to target other geographic areas, because when you register your business on Google, they're going to rank you according to your location. So if someone's nearby you, there's more of a chance they're going to find you. If they're a town over and you want them to find you, they're going to give the searcher who's ever closest to them, no matter what you do on your website. If you put that other town's name on your website all over the place, it may show up, but they're still going to give them who's ever closest to them first. So there's other ways of looking at that and managing that. So you really want to think of giving Google what Google wants, and then Google will give you what you want. What does Google want? Google wants to have a good directory that's going to give you the results you want that are located the closest to you and give you the best information. So if you're a baker and you have a bakery, then there's town over, someone's looking for a bakery, they're going to give them who's ever closest first. But if you had, say, like a blog post on your website about a recipe for chocolate chip cookies, then Google may list that blog post in that other area if someone's specifically looking for chocolate chip cookie recipes. And then from the blog post, they can be directed back to your website. You do the same thing with YouTube videos. Okay, so the way that a search engine works is, first of all, Google gives you any paid ads. And the second thing is there's something that's called like the 3-pack, and I think it's 4 now, but there's a top results that they put on a map, all right? And they want to have an excellent directory service. So first, they're going to need to know what is the category of your website. And then they're going to want to verify you and make sure you're a legitimate company, as well as a one that they would want to refer people to. So that's where you come up with the social proof. If they see that you're interacting on social media, they see that you have Google reviews, that all plays into it. And Google has algorithms which they use to analyze a website and determine if they're passing on all these things. You can go kind of crazy with that because they keep changing those algorithms all the time. And it's important to pay attention to it, but you might drive yourself crazy. So it's mostly about giving good content. So if someone's looking for you and you're a plumber, then don't be trying to sell them vitamins. Make the content on your page reflect the topic that you're promoting. Okay. And this is for understanding local listings. I went into this a while ago. So these are 3 towns nearby me. So if you're here, then you tell Google, okay, I want you to rank me so many miles from my location. And that's what they'll do. And then if the customer is in Easton, which is another town, they're going to get whoever closest to them first, even though you may be in their geographic area, but they're going to always get who's ever closest first, because Google wants to deliver local results. And so you have to find other ways to rank in other areas. So your website is geographically based, but your blog, YouTube, and syndication posts and social media, those are all topic based. And so if you have a topic-based video, or and then you put a little snippet on the front of it targeting a different area, then you can target the keywords of these different locations and reuse the content that you had for that video. So there's the chance that this one video will show up in this other town. You do the same thing with blog posts or any other type of content you put out there. All right, so it's also to recognize that you want to be in the neighborhood where your customers are. So there's different websites that have different amounts of traffic. The most visited website in the world is Google. The second most visited website in the world is YouTube. Third most visited website in the world is Facebook. And what does that mean? It means that's where people are. So you want to put up your signs on those busy streets. So should you have a presence on them? Yes, you should. You should have a presence on the Google My Business, and Facebook and YouTube. LinkedIn's down about 12, I think, but LinkedIn's for more professionals. So that's another good one. And then there's all the other social media sites, whichever ones that you feel are good. I mean, they're all good, but these are the ones at the top. So I would say Facebook, YouTube, and Google, you really need to be sure you have those covered and you put up content frequently. This is how many minutes a month at that time people were actually spending on these different sites. So you want to be where your customers are. Google, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Wikipedia, Instagram was number 6, Yahoo down here. So you want to think about where you're at. Be sure you're in the neighborhood where people are looking for you. And then also it's all about building a list. So like on Facebook, for example, if you make a post and someone shares it, then that goes out to a bunch of other people. And then if they like that post, they may come over and join your list on Facebook. So you can expand your reach. If you want to build a massive non-invasive list, powerful word-of-mouth marketing, and it's easy to share YouTube videos on Facebook. And you can make special offers and develop a post-to-sales ratio and use it frequently. So after a while, you begin to get a distinction of, if I make a post, what kind of results am I going to get? It's not a hard science necessarily, but over time, it's the general idea is to have an idea about how much impact your posting is having on the internet. So ranking on the internet is, when you put the hard stuff on your website, it can happen quickly, but Google's going to be establishing your reputation over time. So that's a little bit more of a long-term kind of a thing. But with social media engagements, for example, is something that can provide more immediate results. The more you do that, the more it affects your actual ranking on the internet as well. And YouTube views boost your SEO rankings as well. Google owns YouTube. They can monetize your videos. And if your videos are giving good information about the topic that they're searching on, that's really important. And a lot of people like searching on videos. So why not have a presence there and direct people back to your website from that? And Facebook likes boost your SEO rankings because now there's proof to Google that people like you. And ads on Facebook and social media sites can be highly targeted and relatively affordable. Google ads are good too, if you can afford it, and that's good. But you can look around and see what kind of paid ads you could use on these different social media sites. Knowing this stuff, if you have a future vision about what's possible, you can use this to really build up a reputation. Okay, so this is what I call a practical and fundamental SEO optimization. If you're set up correctly on all the different, like on Google and Bing and your social media sites, then if you're not, then it's like you have little holes, like potential customers are coming in here, but they're you're missing some of them. So you want to be sure that you cover as much of that as you can so that you get more people coming through your funnel and coming out the bottom as a sale. Okay, so the old school SEO is a main focus on keywords. And if you don't look at where you're at, you won't know. You need to be able to understand the algorithms, how they work. It's kind of like captive audience. If you buy a hot dog at a ballpark, that's because it's the only place you get a hot dog there. So you're going to pay that extra money because of where you're at. So you want to be in the neighborhood where people are looking for what you do. And dealing with all this stuff can go down a very deep hole, and really try to keep refining your website, making it better and better. And that's good, and it's important. And if you've got enough time and enough insight into it, you can get it done. But if you don't, then at least do the best you can. And it's not always practical. Now, new school SEO is to give Google what Google wants. Practical and fundamental setups on all the search engines, and having an online marketing plan and establishing new roles and habits. Okay, who's going to do blog posts? Who's going to post on social media? And how am I ranking? And what can I do to improve that? So you want to use all these different tools. So that's the on-page SEO, is being able to recognize how the words are put on your page, and listing in citations, your name, address, and phone number, your identification with different online directories is important. You can get some reports, these bright local reports. Like I said on my website, you can get an introductory report about your ranking that tells you how you're ranking in your area for your targeted keywords. Do press releases, let people know you're around. Get Google reviews. I had one customer who all he did was get Google reviews. Now he's got 500 5-star reviews, and he ranks really high on all of his keywords. And then there's other tools you can use also to analyze all of that. I can show you those things. Content marketing. So websites rank by location, and content ranks by topic. That's what I was talking about, the bakery. The bakery ranks by location. The chocolate chip cookie ranks by topic. Okay, so you want to have a consistent habit for blogging. Google likes it, and you can also build a library for prospects who come to your website. YouTube videos, Google monetizes those, and it's the second most visited website in the world, so it's important to be in there. Syndication is about how to broadcast your information out throughout all the different social media networks. And lastly, building a list. Some people buy now, but many people buy later. So if you have a system on your website to build a list by asking for someone's email address, then you recognize that not everybody's going to buy the first time, but they might buy the second or third, the fourth, the fifth time you contact them. So then you engage with the list, you build a relationship and give added value to them. And then eventually they'll want to buy something that you're selling. Higher ranking. So search engines identify you for your target keyword. And then the search engines need to trust you. And then that makes content king. And then a consistent and persistent new information, and implementing that, knowing where you're ranking, being in communication regularly, setting up new habits. So search engines will rank you for your target keyword, and search engines trust you. Content is king. Consistent and persistent new information. The implementation is evaluation, communications, new habits. Okay, so this is my website, electricstorefront.com. Okay, so if you'd like more information, go ahead and visit my website. There's a button there that you can click on, and that will give you the opportunity to get an evaluation of where you're at with a free 30-minute remote consultation. Over here you can see my portfolio, and there's a bunch of information in here in different videos and things about how to get started on the internet. I like helping people that are looking to lift themselves up. So if you're eager about getting started on the internet or improving what you have, then give me a call and let me know what I can do to help you. Thanks for taking the time to watch my little presentation today, and feel free to call me. Go to my website and let me know if I can help you with anything. Thanks.